Listen, learn, give, and serve. You couldn't have picked a better time. Could not possibly have picked a better time to be alive. Why is that? Number one, the information that's available, free or with a cost, online, in person, or as you can clearly see behind me with books, is ever growing and available. In addition to that, whether you go to a mastermind, a recreation center, a gym, a restaurant, a coffee shop, whether it's a brand coffee shop or just a regular local coffee shop, there are lots of people listening, learning, caring, and sharing. So, what should we be curious about? Hi, my name is John Checky. I'm the co founder of Checky Financial. And in about 3 more years, God willing, I will be a certified public accountant for 50 years. Funny, I got a magazine today from Texas Christian University, a place I attended from 1967 to 1970, graduated in 1970. I can recall them celebrating their 100th anniversary in 1973, and son of a Brussels sprout, this being 2023, they're celebrating their 150th anniversary. Fascinating. So, what's so curious about that? If you went to a particular university and it's been around for a good long while, it usually means that it's providing some learning, some accreditation, has built up some alumni over time who, in fact, have served their communities, written books, given lectures, provided service, delivered babies, saved people in hospitals, buried people in cemeteries or crematories, and somehow gone through a century and a half in certain cases, or in terms of the original Ivy League colleges back east, have been around for hundreds of years. My phone thinks I'm trying to talk to it, even though, honest to goodness, I'm talking to my computer, not my telephone. So I'm going to suggest, in the nicest, kindest sort of way, it's a wonderful time to be curious about just about everything. Why is that? Whether you're a well seasoned human being with white hair, approaching your 76th birthday in a few months, or you're brandy spanking new, a little kid, not yet even in your teens, and you're kind of curious what to make of your life and what's going on around you and how you'll fit in to said life. If you're curious and read other people's stories, whether it's show business stories or athletic stories or academic stories or writing stories or historical stories about people's lives, how people listened, learned, served, and in some cases prospered, in some cases did not. But being curious will give you an opportunity to, as you're watering your gardens, look up and suddenly see, holy guacamole, that is a hummingbird right above my head. Or as my younger brother did years ago, we're on our back porch in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, and darn if a red bird, probably a cardinal, landed on his head. We thought, that's fascinating. My father, being kind of a curious guy also, somehow came up with a bird cage. And the next time the cardinal came by, son of a Brussels sprout, we actually captured the cardinal for reasons known only to my father and brought it in the house. So, heck, we suddenly had a pet bird that kind of adopted us. I had that bird for a number of years, and every once in a while, just for the sheer joy of it, my father was curious what the bird would do while the bird was flying in the house. So we let it fly in the house a bit. Lucky it was a small house, so we always got a hold of the bird. And what was the takeaway? What was the lesson? And how can I apply that for something that you can actually use. Sometimes you will encounter a bird, whether it's a dove or a cardinal or a red bird, and you'll kind of wonder, gee willikers, what if anything goes on in that creature's mind? And in some cases, they're simply looking for food. We're lucky in that as human beings, especially if we're affluent human beings, we have less trouble securing food. We also have a lot less trouble securing and procuring information if we're curious. Some of us in this household really enjoy watching the news. I don't happen to be one of those people. I get enough snippets that I very quickly can find out what's going on, where there's a big fire, what went off the rails in a certain railroad tragedy, what markets are doing in a heartbeat, what kind of trends are going on in retail sales, what kind of trends are in terms of energy, in terms of war and the like. So now, in a heartbeat, thanks to the magic telephone or this computer or the many news outlets that are available, or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever the heck else you use as a research tome, we can be curious and be sated to go ahead and find out what the heck is going on day in and day out. We can also kind of apply those lessons in some way to actually serve our fellow man and woman to go ahead and earn our particular daily bread. Translation into English. Today we had a problem with our sprinkler system. We've had this problem for a number of months because we keep running over a particular sprinkler head that's next to our driveway. Not sure how that happened, but we've learned not to do that anymore. We had another sprinkler head that had a bad habit of spraying all over the place and occasionally hitting the lawn. We had a couple of different people over time work on our sprinkler system to no avail. So what did we do? We went to a thing called Angie's List, which is a list of people who've been procured and certified by people who have used them over time. Contacted Angie looking for hey, I would like somebody to fix my sprinklers. They gave me a time frame. I said, yes, I'd like it done in 1 or 2 days. And lucky for me, I got a call from a group and they said, we can have someone out there today. And before noon, a young man came out named Jordan. He's a married guy with a couple of small children. And in a heartbeat, he fixed it. And for only $250, thanks to the fact I was curious enough to be a subscriber to Angie's List and procure a referral to one of their folks. And they had the availability, get that fixed. Oh, and as my wife would say, and having $250 to go ahead and satisfy that particular situation. And there you are, being curious about getting something fixed, following up by asking someone to fix it rather than try and pretend that I could learn how to fix that. Probably could long term, but not a very good idea. And how did I serve that particular individual? One, not only paid the bill, I gave him some extra money just because, plus gave them a nice review because they get paid more when you give them a nice review. And how will I serve this household? Well, our lawn will look better and the street will be slightly drier because we put some lower density sprinklers in there that do a better job of spreading the water efficiently and effectively rather than spewing all over the place. So number one, be curious, identify various places where you can unearth information, and don't just listen and learn, but also apply it. Apply it by actually using it to help your fellow man and woman and children to go ahead and discover their talents, develop their talents, and deploy their talents to pursue their God-given special talent in life to go ahead and make our world even more interesting and satisfying than it was before. My name is John Joseph Checky Jr. My son JJ works with me and has for the last 10 years. And we have a firm called Checky Financial. We'd like to help you have fun and still have money by investing your time and energy not only in your assets, but in your family, in your health, and your future. Have fun and be well.